I just wanted to show you what we're doing today. Got a leak on this split unit somewhere around here. Seems to be like the bees are hanging around, so there must be a hive. We're gotta proceed with caution. Well, I got one of my sides hooked up over here with a 5/16 by quarter, a little 1/4 inch hose. I know it's not the optimal setup, but I wanted to have my gauge on the system. And this one is closed off. So I'm gonna go ahead and put back on the cap that we have over here. Anyway, we got the hoses. This is so recovered. Let's see what we recovered. A little over a pound. Pulled out the see if you can see it. Pulled it out, cut it. Gonna go inside. The unit's disassembled. Gonna pull through the wall, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna cut off all this insulation, less of a drag through the wall. Pulled it apart. It is a brazed joint. I don't know if you can see it. Here's one. Here's the other. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these out. Gonna put on new leads, and then I'm gonna put in a. I'm gonna put in the bottom. I'm gonna put in a test port. This way I can test it for now, and we'll see what's going on. Stay bright number 8. That's one of them. I don't know if you could see it. It's a little glossy. Bad lighting. Camera won't adjust to the sun. Raised on 2 tips. Do a little bit of a testing of the unit. All tests good. Gonna wrap this all up, poke it through the wall, go from there. 232, a little bit over 100 psi. We'll see if it stays. So far, no leak over here. Move my scale out of the way. I propped it up over here while I brazed. I don't want to drip on it, so. No bubbles. No bubbles here either. Been about 10 minutes. Seem to be holding steady. Gonna raise the pressure up a little bit. A little bit over the 200 mark. Gonna keep it there. 250. It's been about 7 minutes so far. Still gonna call it good. Hasn't changed. Before I was on an angle here. Now I'm trying to be straight with the gauge. Still holding over 200 pounds. Okay, so decided I'm gonna bump it up to about 300 pounds. And see how she goes. A couple minutes later, holding pretty steady. So I'm gonna release the nitrogen, and put it through the wall. I wanted to show you guys what I do in order to keep the rubber flex insulation from tearing off. Well, I pushed it all the way up to here, closed everything up, and I used saran wrap. Saran wrap it all the way up. This stuff, while it is a little grippy and can catch in the hole over there, most likely it'll just slide through. I'm gonna go give it another couple layers right over here to keep this nice and tight. Gonna cover over the ends of the piping, and should be ready to rock and roll. What you've got, able to push it through, nothing catching or outside. Gonna cut this stuff right off, braze it right into the line set that's there. Got the unit under a pressure test, 100 psi, 3:30 APM. I'll leave it on for a while and then bump it up a little bit. Here's the Stay Bright 8 solder joints. You guys be yelling at me that you guys only do brazing, blah 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 blah. It's all good. Stay Bright 8 is recommended as long as it's not commercial. It can be used. Cleaning it up so there's no flux issues. As you can see, peeled back the remaining wrap, plastic wrap that I have. Gonna cut it clean around the house. Gonna put this down. Gonna get the electric back over there. Cover this with Armorflex once confirmed done. Leave this hanging out the way it was, and put the black tape all the way to the unit. Raise it up to 250 psi. About 4 p.m. and we're just around 400. Depends which way you look at it. But we're just around 400, and let this sit for a while. Got the electric hooked up. Had a bad little cut over there, so cut it down another 6 inches and redid it all. Not sure why the guy didn't use symmetrical one unit to the next, but that's what it is. So we just put it back the way we found it. Black to black, red, white, ground. Roughly 15-20 minutes later, still doing a 400 psi. You know, the issue with analog gauges is when you move it, you know, it could look one way, it could look lower, it could look higher. So that's that. But 400 psi holding 15. Only recovered about 1 pound. We're going to use the 1 pound to break the vacuum, and then add a 3 point, what do we got over here? Hold around 4 pounds 14 ounces, so we're gonna add 3 pounds 14 ounces when we're done. Something's odd, because whenever I open this ball valve over here, my microns goes through the roof. So I'm assuming either there's a leak on this, or something's wrong with the Schrader core removal, because we're down to 370, 380, 390, 400. Open that up and I'm having a problem. So something's wrong, and I'm gonna have to nail it down one of these days. But I couldn't figure out why my microns are so high. I pulled an oil change and all. Turn that Schrader core off. Still a lot of refrigerant in the system, and as you can see, I'm pulling it through one Schrader core, another Schrader core over here. Actually, this one doesn't have a Schrader core, but then there's a Schrader core here. So, there. 100 micron. Obviously, the micron is high because there's a high draw right over here, but if I turn this off, ball valve's off, boiling off the refrigerant. I'm going to release the charge. She's running. My Bluetooth was reporting. Call this snapshot. Snapshot.